How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, creator and founder of the Hardgainer Academy. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about stiff leg deadlifts, one of my favorite exercises. In the previous two videos, we spoke about the leg press machine and the hack squat machine. But when it comes to stiff legs, I feel they are a great exercise for hard gainers looking to put on muscle and size. So why should you do them? Number one, athletic performance. By strengthening your overall posterior chain, you'll notice that you will begin to get better at a lot of other things, whether it's daily tasks you do in life. Maybe it might be other lifts, especially when it comes to squats or when it comes to certain exercises where your posterior chain is involved, which is your lower back, your hamstrings, and so on. It will be extremely helpful. You'll notice it actually right away. You also get a chance to really get those stabilizers involved. When you're using machines, you really don't have the opportunity to really get those stabilizers engaged. The other thing I want to talk about why you should be doing them is because of the flexibility and the mobility that you can gain, right? So if you're able to be more mobile, more agile, then why not do the exercise? Especially as your body adapts over time, you'll get better at doing it and you'll just be increasing and getting better in regards to your range of motion. So here's some hacks that you got to look out for. So the first thing that I make sure of, as far as where the bar is placed, I just make sure that the bar is right above my shoelaces or just right above the feet. That's the first thing. The second thing is I make sure that I have a hip width stance with my feet. So I don't go outside at hip width and I don't go in the middle of hip width. Number three, I make sure that my arms are shoulder width apart. No wider, no narrower. So we make sure we got all those cues. So then when I'm about to perform the exercise, I make sure that I keep the bar close to my body. It is very important that you have that bar just come up, whether it's coming up your shin, to your knees, to your legs. Make sure that bar stays within close contact. Another checkpoint is you want to make sure that your back remains straight, remains neutral, your spine. We want to make sure there's no rounding and there's no curvature whatsoever. Once this begins to happen, then we put unnecessary strain on the lower back. So this is kind of repeat and go back to what we said. Number one, we want to make sure that that bar is right above the shoelaces or just right above the feet, right? Number one. Number two, we want to make sure that we have a hip width stance and our arms are shoulder width apart. As we lift the weight up, as it travels up to your shin, your knees, and your legs, the bar stays close. Some people like to make sure that that bar is actually literally touching, but I make sure it's close enough, and sometimes it may touch, but I just make sure that the bar does not travel away so I can actually stay tight. Another thing that I do, I also want to make sure that I have a nice slight bend in the knees. You do not want to make sure your legs are completely straight because your back will round. So again, we want to stay away from rounding the back. As far as how low you can go, it's going to be different for everyone in regards to flexibility and mobility. But I've noticed over time, it does get better. And when you do go lower, you get a nice stretch in those hamstrings. Like, come on, we're trying to strengthen that entire posterior chain, the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back. By strengthening all those particular areas, it will translate to getting stronger in other lifts. And then the last tip that I want to say, whichever amount of weight that you use on the traditional deadlift, please do not do it on the stiff leg deadlift. They might look similar, but they are completely different. We want to make sure that the weight does not completely touch the ground. So I hope you found this video helpful. And you know how we do. Heart gainers! Salute! Peace out.